Hey everyone, Paulie here with HardDrive Radio. Delighted to be sitting down today with Justin and Tarek from the Blue Stones. Gentlemen, thank you so much for coming to see us today.
Thanks for having us, Paul.
Absolutely. Very excited about the show tonight. Can't wait to see you guys. This is my first time getting to see you live.
Okay.
I think this is not your first time in the States. I think this is your second run through the States at this point, or?
Yeah, a headline run. Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about the tour so far and how it's going for you guys.
I mean, it's been great. You know, we've had a few sold out nights, which is always good. We were just saying earlier, actually, like, funny to be playing rooms of these size for a long time. We've been playing for years, but to finally get some sold out shows underneath our belts, and especially in the States, is huge for us. So it's been great.
What was the first show you ever sold out as a band?
I mean, like, I guess apart from our hometown.
Yeah. I mean, your hometown counts.
Yeah, I mean, I would say it would probably be in Windsor. That was probably the first sold out.
Yeah,
show
that would have been a long time ago.
Yes, a very long time ago. But yeah, it's been like, you know, we have weird little hubs of fans in the States now, you know, like St. Louis shows up in a big way and Chicago shows up, New York shows up in a big way. So it's really nice to see that happening here. I feel like the States have really embraced us. I mean, it's sometimes even before Canada did, surprisingly. So
in your face, Canada.
You guys got that.
In your face, Canada.
Let's kind of go back and explore the history of the band, because, you know, for a lot of our HardDrive listeners, this is really the first time we've had a chance to actually sit down and talk to you guys. So maybe we can start with how you guys met each other.
Yeah, we actually played on the high school football team together. Oh, nice. Yeah, so that's why I think we played on other teams together before that. But like that's when we became buddies, and then from there we kind of had our close group of friends, and we were good friends for like 6 years before we even started playing music together. So, yeah, that's how it happened.
How many bands were you guys in before the Blue Stones?
I was in several, but yeah, Tarek wasn't really in any.
It's my first crack at it.
Look at you.
Yeah, it's working out, man. Knock on wood.
First try's the charm, man. Yeah. Tarek, tell me about getting your first guitar, man.
Oh, that's a great question. It was a Barracuda. That's what it was called, and I think it was like $50. And it was reluctantly purchased by my mom for me because she wanted me to do piano, but she was a piano teacher. So like, I really didn't like doing the piano lessons. I kind of was sick of it, and I wanted to play electric guitar. And she's like, okay, fine, well, whatever. Here's an electric guitar then. And that was it. Yeah.
Do you still play piano at all, or just?
I do, yeah. I mean, I'm not like by any means like a theory piano player by any means, but yeah, like every time there's a piano there, I'll kind of go and mess around and play a couple things.
Justin, how about you? Have you always been a percussionist?
Yeah, since day one. Went to a grade school with a very good music program. Everyone had to play something, and there was like a fight over who could play drums. It was not a fight, but like we had to toss coins and figure out who was able to sit on the drum set. So I won the coin toss, which was kind of crazy. And my neighbor ran a music store. And so I convinced my parents, like, well, I'm already doing it at school. Like, why don't we just take lessons? And then take lessons for a bit. I was like, whoa, why don't we get a drum set? And then just kind of evolved from there. But that was a long time ago.
Did you have to, get a bunch of mattresses and set them up in the basement so you didn't drive your parents crazy drumming all the time?
I probably should have, but no, that didn't happen. Yeah.
How do your parents feel about where you guys are in your career now? Are they like super happy with it?
Yeah, my parents were pretty... Like they're I guess they would be considered first generation like North Americans, right? So like they, wanted me to be a doctor and all that.
Of course.
But it was a bit tough at first, but they've really kind of come around with all the momentum that's been building over the past few years. It's kind of crazy to see them just like totally embrace it and like kind of cheer us on. I got my dad like texting me like, okay, what radio interview is next? And I'm like, how do you know? Like, I don't even know yet. But yeah, they're really fortunate to have them supporting us. I mean, especially your parents as well.
Yeah, I mean, my parents grew up as rock and rollers, so they've always been into this, but there's always, there's a difference between like, okay, I like listening to rock and roll. I don't necessarily know if I want my kid to go into it. And so there was always a little bit of hesitation, but now we're doing what we're doing now, it makes everyone's lives easier, so.
Well, success will do that for you guys. Yeah. So I'm glad things are working out. I'm glad we can kind of help you guys out in that department.
For sure.
Ever since they came to me with the first single, which was Black Holes, and I was like, oh man, what is this band?
Okay,
this is a really good sound. And so I've been kind of hooked on you guys ever since. So it's really great to have you guys finally in here so we can chat about this stuff. Tell me about the artists that you guys listened to growing up and kind of inspired you to want to play music.
Yeah, you know what? For me, I mean, I listened to a lot of different music when I was young, but the mecca for me was like Blink-182. Funny enough, I was like 12 years old when what's the one the one with the nurse on the front?
Enema of the State.
Yeah, when that record came out, and it just everyone at school was listening to it. Travis Barker is obviously one of the best drummers of all time, and I was like, yeah, this is the kind of music that I want to start playing. So that was what started it for me.
Yeah, for me, it was kind of a mix of things. Like I really track it back to like high school, because that's when I think I really started to dive into music. I was listening to a lot of like Jay-Z, Kanye West, early Coldplay, but then like Sum 41, Blink-182, Rage Against the Machine. Yeah. We used to have some good listening parties to Rage Against the Machine, Mute Math, so bands like that.
You guys got Rage tickets?
We tried.
I don't even want to talk about it.
It's actually a nightmare. It's actually a nightmare. We tried so hard, and
you know what? We should have just settled on Detroit.
I know. We tried doing Toronto. Man, I'm crushed.
Yeah,
me too, man. I know like 10 different people I could call, be like, hey, maybe you can get me on a list or get me some tickets or something. Nothing.
Yeah, no, I'm not surprised for something this big, but yeah, man, too bad.
Oh well.
I know.
Too bad.
I know.
We're not there yet. We're not there yet.
No, maybe someday.
So you guys came in and you played a bunch of acoustic songs for us today, which sounded beautiful. Thank you very much for doing that. And the first one that you played is the single that we're playing right now on HardDrive. It's a song called Shakin' Off The Rust. Tell us a little bit about what went into writing that song.
Yeah, it was mainly, it's actually one of the more recent songs that we put together, and it was at a time where I was writing a bunch of demos that I just hated. I didn't like, and I would write them at night. I'd wake up in the morning and be like, this is trash, and I'd want to throw them away. And I was getting a little bit concerned. I remember talking to Justin, like, man, we need to put out quality that is like Black Holes, if not better, and I think that sort of started getting in my own head a little bit, but that's when Shakin' Off The Rust just sort of like happened. It was just one morning. It was kind of put together in like 20 minutes, just simple 4 on the floor beat, a riff that I had stuck in my head, and this like term like shaking off the rust. Like, you just got to shake it off. So the whole song is built around you feeling like you're not producing anything of value or of any quality, but then you sort of brush that off and you come through confident with something great. And that's what Shakin' Off The Rust is.
So Black Holes was the first album that you guys put out. Are you getting kind of like that sophomore album challenge right now? Like you guys are like, okay, you had your whole life to write your first album, and now you got 12 months to write the next one. Is that the pressure?
Yeah, I mean, like we wrote Black Holes a long time ago, and I think more of what the reality is these days with how easy it is to like make and put out music is that a lot of people will write something, put it out for a while independently, and if you end up getting signed, you just kind of roll with that record again. So that was our story, and I mean, thankfully we had a lot more time to write this record. But that being said, I mean, there's songs that are like 2-3 years old on this album, but there's songs that are like written in the studio as we were there. But no, I think that we really grew into like a new sort of style. And I mean, that's inevitably going to happen, especially the more you get into a certain world, the more you're exploring, different artists. But yeah, long story short, we're really happy with a little bit of a new direction that the music is taking compared to Black Holes.
Yeah,
But, yeah,
for sure.
Are you the kind of musicians who can listen to other music while you're writing? Because I know some who are afraid of like getting any kind of influence for others for fear that might creep into their work and they'd be accused of like plagiarizing them or something. Is that something you guys worry about or no?
No, I think that's, where we primarily draw influence from is other bands. So yeah, I think I kind of embrace that. I don't think I could write a song while listening to another song, but definitely like, sometimes you'll hear something on the radio or you'll hear something like, on one of your playlists and you're like, oh, that's kind of a really cool chord change that they made. Like, I wonder how I could do that in our way, So yeah, for sure. I think that's music in general.
We do like references all the time in the studio. Like, oh, bring up this song, I'm trying to do this for the drum sound, or even just like late night sessions after we're done recording, bust out a bottle of bourbon. And then like the engineer and the producer and the two of us are sitting down like, oh, have you seen this? Did you see this Tiny Desk thing? Like, just going, that's how we finish the night and then come back in the studio, and who knows, maybe you gleaned a little bit of it, maybe you didn't, but yeah.
Are you guys still in studio time right now? I mean, yes, you're on the road right now, but are you still, producing, writing, or is that all done?
We're done recording the whole new album, so that feels great. But yeah, every time like I'll get a melody idea in my head or a lyrical idea. I mean, it's the beauty of having like a smartphone. You just record it on the audio recorder, or you just write something down quickly, like, oh, that would be a cool lyric. So yeah, constantly on.
Cool. So who's the team that you guys are working with? Who's your engineer? Who's the producer you're working with for the album?
Yeah, so the producer is Paul Meany, who's absolutely our dream producer. We've got to shout out our manager, George, here for hooking that one up.
Did it, George.
Legend. He's absolutely our dream producer. It's the lead singer of the band Mute Math, which was a big band for us growing up, like Tarek already said. Mm-hmm. So great to work with him. But then, the engineer is Zane Whitfield from North of Princess Studios in Kingston, Ontario. And it's just a great small little studio. It's actually perfect for a two-piece.
Yep.
And they just do an amazing job of everything is handmade. All the wood in the studio is from one tree that him and his father felled and then milled and stained, and it's nuts.
It's crazy.
He hand builds all the microphones, and doesn't need to do all this stuff at all, but anyway, so shout out to those guys.
I mean, that sounds like a dream. If I had to choose a studio, I'd be the one who I want handcrafted everything by the family. That sounds incredible.
Yeah, man, they hand dug the foundation. It's kind of
That's what a legacy. Holy crap. This album better be awesome.
I agree. It's all wasted.
I don't think you guys have put out a title or anything like that. Can you reveal that stuff to us, or do we still sit on that a little bit?
I don't know. We might have to hide it for a little bit.
Yes, it's got to stay hidden.
It's it's gonna be a shiny one, but we'll get there.
All right. One of the other singles that you guys have out right now is a song called Grim.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about that one.
Yeah, Grim, I always go to saying that I feel like that's the best representation of our sound right now, a snapshot of who we are. It's like a blend of, your roots rock and roll, but it's got some hip hop, some R&B influence in there too. And that's just such a fun song to play live. It's really something that I'm proud of. I honestly think it's the best song that we've got. But
I'd say that too.
Yeah.
One of the things that I love about music is not just the music itself and the artists and the live performances, but the visual art that it inspires too. And you guys, so far for the cover singles, and for the tour poster as well, you guys have a very great art style that you have right now. Who is the artist that you're working with who's making all that?
So, George, again, gotta shout out our manager, George. Once again, all the credit for this guy.
Worth it, baby. He's worth it.
Did you work on these questions?
Yeah, just pumping this guy's tire.
We may have coordinated. No,
but he's, I don't know his actual name, but anyway, George.
Pass.
Okay, yes, Pass is his real name, but George found him on Instagram. His handle is by Sequence, and so his name is Sequence. That's his art name. But it's just a really cool style, and it's such a 2020 story. We're writing this new music. We need some cool new art design, and we find a guy on Instagram who lives halfway across the world, and we coordinated on let's do a bunch of singles. Maybe you could do a tattoo style sort of art. I don't know how to describe it, but
that's pretty much it. It's it's got this kind of badge looking tattoo sort of style, and he's nailed it, and he has a very cool style to him. So
it's funny you say badge, because now that I'm thinking about it, just the way it is, they would make really cool patches.
And those are
gonna to get those made.
Yeah, they're gonna happen.
That's cool merch.
Yeah, exactly.
I like it. Yeah. Speaking of merch, how involved are you in your merch design? Do you guys dig that stuff? I love shirts. I love band shirts. I try to get shirts from every band that I love. I don't wear them all the time.
Right.
Are you guys involved in designing that stuff at all? Do you have an opinion?
Yeah, I mean, we don't design it ourselves, but when it comes to, I guess, placing it on the shirt or choosing what goes on the front versus what goes on the back and where it's placed, then we definitely are in that dialogue for sure.
Always black shirts?
No, we
just did a cream colored one.
Cream color.
Yeah.
We've done.
It was hard to branch out from the black though, to be honest.
It's weird. It's the white shirts don't sell very well. Yeah, I just don't know what it is.
The black band tee, I bet you every band, that's their best selling shirt.
Yeah,
absolutely. And so it's cool to have something different, but at the end of the day, that's what people want is the black band tee. So you'll always have it.
That's awesome, man. Yeah, it's probably my second favorite thing about just music and stuff is, you know, you get
Cool
to wear the
merch.
cool clothes, you get to
Yeah.
wear, you know, the bands that you love on your chest for everyone to see. I'm very excited to see you guys play live tonight. Tell me, you know, what the rest of 2020 is going to hold for you.
I'm touring,
And releasing this album,
releasing
for
the
sure.
album.
We're
Yeah,
just
it's gonna be
getting
packed.
it. Working on mixes right now, getting it mixed and mastered. Hopefully that'll come out. I don't know, summer-ish.
Yeah.
Would be great.
Ish.
Check with management on that one.
No, it's going to be releasing this new music. We just announced a big tour with the Struts, which we're super excited about, and then definitely some festival dates and some of our own headline dates as well to come. So it's going to be a busy year, but it'll be a fun year for sure. Well, and then we have the Junos too, which is, you know, we just got the Juno nod. Yeah, I mean that's huge for us. I mean, Canada's Grammys, so we're kind of excited to go there. I mean, it's just nice to be nominated.
It's a breakout band of the year, something like
Yeah,
that. Right?
breakthrough
that's
Breakthrough
a
group of the
Yeah.
year.
big,
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
a big nom,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
You guys got to feel really like. Where were you when you first learned about this nomination, and how did you react?
I was at home.
Yeah, I was in the airport actually on my way home. I remember that. I remember actually George. Here he comes again. Yeah, George gave
The
me,
secret third member.
gave me a call and he's like, "Are you sitting down?" And I was like, "Why?" And he's like, "Well, you guys just got like a Juno nom." And I was like, "Wow, this is crazy!" Like kind of in the airport, so I couldn't go nuts about it. But yeah, I was very excited.
That's awesome, man. I mean, it's well deserved. You guys are an incredible band. I love the music that you make, and I just can't wait for tonight, man. I'm just so
thank you.
excited
Thanks,
about
Paul.
it.
Appreciate it.
Absolutely. All right, the band is the Blue Stones. Tarek, Justin, guys, thank you so much for coming in to see us today. This was a blast.
Thanks for having us, man.
Thank you.
Absolutely.